Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. I want to talk to you today about ways to lower the barrier to influence first-time clients and to create a great first impression. So I think, it's really interesting. I love when, National Donut Day and National Hot Dog Day and National Sandal Flip-Flop Day, all these different national days come around, and businesses like Dunkin' Donuts and Krispy Kreme, and other vendors, you see it quite a bit in the restaurant, fast food world where, they offer a free version of one of their products. And I think it's really interesting because you're beginning to see it more and more in social. And I think there's really a genius behind that as a marketing strategy. So I think for small businesses who are looking for a way to lower that barrier to influence first-time clients is a smart play. I think the one thing that you want to make sure that you are aware of is it always costs more for new client acquisition compared to retaining existing clients. So when you keep that in mind, understand that your upfront costs are going to be higher. However, the upside to that, really has some potential to help grow your business. But I think the important thing to remember is that you need to be prepared for a huge influx of whether it's foot traffic or phone calls, or inquiries to your website. You want to really try to keep and plan accordingly to make sure, because here's the thing. I love when I think about Jimmy John. Sometimes they run a free sandwich deal, but the reality is that the line is so long, and you have to wait for, so it's like, do I really want to do it? And so I think that that's part of the problem. I was fascinated by a story that I came across the other day about a restaurant that reached out to social media influencers to invite them to their restaurant. It was a new restaurant that had opened up, and so they had reached out and really identified a couple of hundred people in their area who demonstrated some real influence, especially on Instagram, in terms of their followers and how many people were kind of following along in their journey through Instagram. And so they told the story about how they reached out. They had quite a few people that took advantage. One of the things that they did was they actually staggered the offer. So I thought that was really smart on their part to, rather than having it be all one day where their staff, there was no way they could handle, if your restaurant has a capacity of 84, and you have 60 people show up for lunch, like, you're going to be in trouble if you add on your regular traffic source. So staggering it out, I think, was a really smart play on their part. And the other thing that I thought was really clever was there was no sign out front. There was nothing, no one knew that this free opportunity had been presented. The only thing that they had done was, they gave instructions to the influencer to let the hostess know that they had received an offer on Instagram, and so they had a code or some type of thing to let the person know. When that person, when the hostess greeter showed them to their table, they had a red napkin that they placed in front of the influencer, the individual, and that signaled to everyone in the restaurant that this was a first-time customer. I love that idea because it really makes everyone kind of jump on their toes and be keenly aware that this is a first-time customer. So so the customer gets their first dish, they try it, everyone's just, again, going over the top to make sure they had a great experience. The manager comes up and says, how did you enjoy the dish? I thought it was great. Um, and as they were about to leave, the manager came back by and said, well, if you love that dish, you're going to love our dessert. So I want to give you my card. And he wrote on the back of it, free dessert, and named it and gave it to him and said, the next time you come in, I'd love for you to try this. And as I heard that story, I thought, man, that is so brilliant, because I feel like that, we as society, we get so addicted to discounts, and it's less addictive when we talk about free things, because free things don't, come around as often. And so it really made me think about, okay, well, how can other businesses lower the barrier to influence consideration for first-time clients, but also create that great first impression? And so I thought that story was really great about, here's an example of how a restaurant does it. And so for you in your business, I think, first of all, you need to understand what's important to your client base, and really dig into and find what really matters, and then look at opportunities to demonstrate that you're aware of that. And then, think about the possibility of, how could we create a environment where we make a free offer, and when they come in or call in, or whatever the, sort of transactional relationship looks like for your business, you create and make sure that that experience is phenomenal, that they really have a great experience. Because here's the thing, we love talking about things that go great. We love to, we love doing that almost, and probably just as much as things that go bad, right? We do that as well. If things really go south, like we're just jumping on social media, oh, it was terrible, it was horrible. And so, stacking the deck in your favor to make sure that that experience, is optimal, is really important. So, those are a couple of things that I think are smart. Now, I also think that when you create that relationship with that first time client, the other sort of flip side to that is, how are you going to continue to bring value to that person? So, then that really starts to look at, what is your integrated marketing approach to continuing that relationship? And so I think that might be where some businesses fall short, because they don't necessarily have a method to follow that consumer, that new first-time customer, on their journey. And so really mapping that out in your marketing plan is really something that, again, can help your business grow and help to lower the cost of new client acquisition. Because once they become a client, once they've experienced your product or service and had a great experience, the upside, the potential of that is really phenomenal. And I think the other thing too is whether you deploy digital marketing or traditional marketing for your giveaway, matters too. I recently got a coupon in the mail from one of the local gas stations, which I never get a direct mail piece from them, and I don't think I've ever seen one. And they had a 25-cent off per gallon direct mail piece. I guarantee you people took advantage of that. I mean, that's a huge offer. And so, for those people who would say direct mail is dead, I would say, well, maybe your offer that's on the direct mail piece is dead. But I thought that was a really interesting, strategy. Now, what would be interesting to know is, did that gas station, because all the coupons, like, you had to go to the one that it came from. You couldn't just show up at any of the locations around town. It said, good for this location. And so, I think a smart play on that would be, make sure that you are leveraging geofencing so that you can, identify that person if they've pulled into and drove within a 1 mile radius of your, location for the gas station, in this particular instance. So that you can create an opportunity to, whether you want to display them a thank you for coming in, or whether you want to, look at additional ways to create another value opportunity or another engagement opportunity for a follow-up. So, I think that's another play that sometimes we stack all of our chips and put all of our chips in one basket when it comes to a marketing strategy. But if we think about the full cycle of that client experience and understand what the patterns are of our clients, and then sort of reverse engineer those offers and those marketing tactics and strategies, again, with the purpose of providing greater value to them than what they perceive they're purchasing from you when it comes to that next purchase experience or renewal experience. Another great example of right now, like I'm trying out Hulu. I got a Black Friday deal that was $12 for the year, so it's $1 a month, and I've been using it a lot. Like, I really like the Hulu platform, and so I'm trying it out for the next 12 months, and like, there's a bunch of programs on there. So when it comes time to renew, coming up Black Friday, November of 2019, I'm really going to be considering whether or not I'm going to go ahead and purchase, that package. So they've actually, while it's not free, it's pretty close to free. $1 a month is pretty dang close. I mean, that's like so cheap, right? I mean, you can't even get a cheap cup of coffee for that, at Starbucks. So I think that is something that businesses, we were working with a client just the other day, and they had tried a couple of different tactics, and they had a great piece of content that offered great value. It was a published book. And, we suggested, hey, why don't you, say thank you for requesting your information as a gift. We'd like to mail you a copy of this book. And again, that's a different approach that a lot of businesses really don't think about. They think about the risk, they think about the overhead cost, but when you put it in, when you integrate it into an overall plan, it can be a really powerful mechanism to create a relationship with that first-time client, which, you're going to do the math. You're going to realize over, X amount of years what kind of return on investment you're going to get if they return and purchase a second product or purchase a second, service item. So, that's just something I wanted to share with you guys today. And I think that the more businesses think about how to provide value to the client and really lower those barriers of that first time experience is absolutely critical. And social media can play a great role in that. You can use some very targeted, geo-targeted, behavior targeted profile and target audience building on Facebook or Instagram platform or Snapchat. And really find a huge return on investment. Not to mention, on that social side, the viral upside of when people start tagging, if I'm like, hey, at coworker, hey mom, hey dad, did you guys see this? That really is what we call undervalued attention. When you get that sort of viral share component of digital marketing. So make sure that that's part of your strategy when you're, whether you go one-to-one influencer marketing to, sort of trial your free offer, or if you have the capability, bandwidth, manpower, what have you, to handle an influx of new clients coming to you for the first time, it's a great tactic. So I wanted to share that with you guys this Tuesday. So again, thank you for your time. My name is Michael Wynn. I am the Chief Digital Officer at Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Hope you guys have a great day, and we will catch you tomorrow.